Kick her butt then! Kick her butt then! Kick her butt then!
Knock for while you can, monkey boy! Listen!
Put him back on formaldehyde fake.
Welcome to Radical Chill Pill. My name is Scott. We're here to talk about everything movies and more. Today we are talking about The Suicide Squad, which I will just say right off the bat is 1,000 times better than the previous film. This one has James Gunn at the helm. He came over from Marvel and he absolutely knocked it out of the park. Right off the bat, you have Johnny Cash playing. You got Michael Rooker killing birds, and you know, I'm in. I watched this movie actually on HBO Max, and we were about 30 minutes in. I was watching with friends and paused it, and we just said to each other, "Are you guys loving this movie as much as I am?" Because it was fantastic. I was captivated. I was in. Idris Elba shows up as pretty much a Will Smith kind of knockoff with the whole "could kill you with anything," daughter in trouble. Personally, I think Idris Elba is much better in a role than Will Smith is. I like Will Smith in a lot of things. Being a comic book villain is not one of them. I thought John Cena was very good. They have this rivalry where between Idris Elba and himself, where they are in like a kill contest, I'll say, and just one-upping each other, which is gory as hell, hilarious. King Shark. Sylvester Stallone, the idea of a shark man god just eating people and just being awesome I loved it. I didn't know how Sly was going to work, and he knocked it out of the park. Yeah, James Gunn knows what he's doing. This is the man who brought, Bradley Cooper as a raccoon and Vin Diesel as a tree. And again, by the end of this, Polka Dot Man, who I had no idea about, and I had heard that they brought him in simply because he was one of the worst characters in the comics. And by the end, I'm on Team Polka Dot. I'm rooting for him, and you got his backstory, and I'm all in. The one thing that they decided to do with this was go a hard R, and it is a hard R. The very first kill, you're like, whoa, okay, I'm in. Gore, ultra-violence, hyper-violence, whatever you want to call it. Some dirty jokes. Great. If you have some little kids who are, in the DC universe for like the Wonder Woman aspects of it, not a great movie for them to see. If you're looking for a movie that is turn off your brain, I want action, I want blood, I want guts, I want bad jokes, and just a full-on adventure for 2 hours, this is a movie for you. I cannot say it enough. James Gunn did a fantastic job, and I think this movie is exactly what the DC Universe needed. They needed some wins. They pulled it off. They're fighting Staros, who I knew from, I believe I saw him in, the Justice League cartoon, and this is a big bad. So this is one of those characters that, typically Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman are fighting, and they really did a fantastic job of taking the whole team, which is kind of the whole thing about this, is you take these, these renegade outsiders and you bring them together, but everyone had a part, and they really played that up well. Where, one person does one thing and one person hits it with another, and you're able to do this and be, one-on-one. There's no Supermans here. There's no one. They're all getting destroyed by this thing. But the fact that they come together and each bring their little abilities, I thought was fantastic. Now it is called the Suicide Squad, so I fully intended some people to perish, and perish they do. Don't get too attached until, maybe halfway through the movie. It was funny, we were watching, spoiler alert, we were watching and they do kind of like the superhero walk where they're all in a line and there is Javelin. And my friend was like, oh, he's gone. Look at how he's dressed. He's not a villain by any, he looks like the new Captain America, from Winter Soldier and Falcon and Winter Soldier. He's just like, da-da-da, and you're just like, this guy's going down. Kind of like Guardians of the Galaxy, I knew Captain Boomerang, I knew Harley Quinn, I knew Flag, but there were a ton of characters who I had no idea about. And that's exactly like Guardians of the Galaxy. I went in there, and some people might say, oh, I knew everybody. I had no idea who Star-Lord or Gamora or any of these people were, and I just fully left, with just not just learning who they were, but fully embracing, who they are. The first third is absolutely fantastic. It's just action-packed, giving you plot. They keep on doing these things, 3 hours ago, 4 days ago, 6 hours ago, going back, kind of telling you what, and then jumping right back into the present day. Fantastic, worked great. The last third of the movie was fantastic with the conclusion. There is a little bit in the middle where Harley Quinn, Margot Robbie's always great as Harley Quinn. But there's a part, with the whole kind of love marriage thing, which kind of slows it a little bit down. I actually kind of found myself wondering, Harley Quinn has such a big role, in her own movie, in the last movie, and you have all these new characters, and I kind of was actually wondering, if she wasn't even in the film, would it still work? And I honestly think it would, if you just, there are some parts that have to do with her, but you could maybe put in someone else to kind of fill that void, I'll say, and do that part. So James Gunn, again, he brings in his, like I said, Michael Rooker, Sylvester Stallone, who we had in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Nathan Fillion. You have all these, just everyone just putting their little bit parts in just to make the whole thing great. And I just thought, honestly, if you're looking for a summer movie in the summer where COVID's coming back and everything, you need something to turn off your brain and just really just sit back, laugh, and enjoy for 2 hours. I thought this movie did a fantastic job. And I'm really, really hoping that he can stay, because as someone who grew up reading DC Comics, I really want them to do well. And Marvel has just kind of stuck to that script and done a phenomenal job. And DC's just had some really big misses, and I'm hoping that this starts a trend, and they can really see what you can do when you kind of give somebody a little bit more leeway, and you stop trying to please everyone and just go. They went for a niche audience because there's going to be some family, I'll say, like I said, maybe someone who likes Wonder Woman, and they're going to watch this and be like, whoa, no, not for me. But if you're a James Gunn fan, if you're a heavy violence comic book, fan, this movie is fantastic. And if you haven't seen it, I highly, highly recommend you do. You will not regret it. All right, well, that's all I have. I wanted to keep this nice and short. Again, Radical Chill Pill. Stay tuned for more content, and we will be going through everything, movies, and more. Appreciate it.